Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in today. I've got a brand new story to share, so let's get started. My name is Michael, and if you had asked me a year ago, I would have told you that I had a strong and happy marriage. I believed in us, and I thought we were solid. For the past few years, my focus had been on building a future for us. My business was finally taking off, and I was expanding it into the new cities. That meant a lot of travel, sometimes for days, sometimes for weeks at a time, but I did it for us. I thought it was worth it. But life has a cruel way of blindsiding you just when you think everything is going according to plan. The truth came to me on its own, and when it did, it hit harder than I ever thought possible. I was away on a business trip, and things were going well. Meetings were productive, deals were being finalized, and I was already looking forward to coming home to my wife, Emily. I was exhausted but satisfied, knowing that every long hour I put into my business was meant to create a better future for us. Then my phone rang that afternoon. It was Jake, a longtime friend, but something in his voice was different, hesitant, uneasy. "Michael, listen, man, I wasn't sure if I should even call you, but I can't keep this to myself," he said. "I just saw Emily coming out of a hotel with another man." For a few seconds I was silent, my mind struggling to process what I had just heard. Maybe I misheard him, and maybe there was some kind of mistake. But Jake wasn't the type to joke about something like this. "I took photos, Michael. I didn't know if I should, but I had a bad feeling. I'll send them to you now." A moment later, my phone buzzed. My hands felt numb as I opened the message. And there she was, to Emily, my wife, stepping out of a hotel lobby. She wasn't alone. Some guy was walking right beside her. I didn't react immediately. I didn't call to yell at her. I just stood there staring at the images on my screen. The truth was staring me in the face, but part of me still wanted to believe there was another explanation. "Michael, you there!" Jake's voice snapped me out of it. "Yeah, I'm here," I answered, forcing myself to sound calm. "Man, I didn't want to be the one to tell you this, but you needed to know." I nodded to myself, even though he couldn't see me. I wasn't angry at Jake. If anything, I was grateful. He didn't owe me this, but he did it anyway. And deep down, I knew he was right. I needed to know. But now that I did, what was I supposed to do with it? I came home earlier than planned. I didn't call ahead, didn't text. I just walked through the front door. Emily was in the kitchen, humming softly while chopping vegetables. When she saw me, she smiled. "How was your trip?" Her voice was light. I forced myself to stay calm. I nodded, pretending everything was normal, answering her casually. I watched her move around the kitchen, waiting for the right moment. Then when she least expected it, I said, "Unlock your phone." The room fell silent. The air grew thick with unspoken tension. Her smile wavered, but she quickly recovered, forcing out a small laugh. "What? Why?" She tried to make it sound playful, but I saw the way her fingers twitched. I didn't answer. I just looked at her, waiting. She shook her head. "Michael, come on, this is ridiculous." "Unlock it," I repeated, my voice calm and steady. No anger, just a demand. She crossed her arms, forcing another nervous laugh. "You don't trust me? After all these years?" I didn't argue. I simply reached over, grabbed her phone, and held it up between us. Her face lost all color. "Unlock it now, or I swear I'm walking out that door and never looking back." For a moment she didn't move. She stared at me, searching for an escape, but there wasn't one. She knew it. I knew it. Her hands trembled as she took the phone from me, hesitating over the screen. Then finally she gave in. The lock screen disappeared. The first thing I saw was a stream of unread messages, some from a saved contact, others from an unknown number. I opened one, then another, then another. It was all there. Explicit texts, photos, videos, things I never imagined my wife sending to another man. The worst part? She had sent me similar photos in the past, reminders of what I had waiting at home. And now I saw that she had sent them to him too. I scrolled through the hotel reservations, late-night chats, and messages planning meetups while I was away, conversations about me, how she thought I was too busy, too distracted with work to notice anything, How she could do whatever she wanted because I trusted her too much. The words blurred for a second, but I didn't stop reading. I needed to see it all, to know exactly who she was when I wasn't looking. Emily collapsed onto the couch sobbing. I'm sorry, I was lonely. You're never home, Michael. I didn't mean for it to happen. I love you. Please. Just let me explain. But I didn't react the way she expected. Without a word, I took screenshots and transferred the files to myself. Then, just as calmly as I had asked her to unlock the phone, I set it back on the table. I met her tear-filled gaze, my voice colder than I had ever heard it. I don't need to hear your excuses. Then I stood up, walked past her shaking frame, and entered our bedroom. I packed everything important, my clothes, my documents, everything I needed to walk out that door and never look back. I moved into a temporary apartment, blocked her number, and cut off all contact. If she had anything to say, she could say it through my lawyer. I filed for divorce immediately. That was the difference between us. She acted on impulse, driven by selfishness and recklessness. I acted with purpose. I refused mediation, refused to sit across from her pretending there was anything left to discuss. I focused on my business, expanded faster than I had planned, and rebranded my entire life. And after months of silence, after rebuilding myself in another city, Emily came back, pregnant, begging for another chance. She claimed it was my child, but when I asked for a DNA test, her whole demeanor changed. She refused. She accused me of being cruel, of not trusting her, and that's when I knew. If she had nothing to hide, she wouldn't be so afraid. When she later tried to take me to court, claiming I had abandoned her and the baby, she underestimated me. I hired the best lawyers, and they dismantled every one of her lies. The truth came out. The judge ruled in my favor and issued a cease and desist order against her. She lost. Publicly. And that was the moment I truly moved on. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, don't let guilt or manipulation make you question your worth. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. What do you guys think? Would you have handled it the same way? Let me know in the comments. And if you made it to the end, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.